River Podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Celtic TREBLE podcast. John is here to go over the Glasgow derby, the fallout from that. We're here to go over that. We're going to touch on the Scotland stuff, Celtic news, rumours and gossip, everything else in between. We've got John here to go through everything. How you doing, John?
Aye, all good, all good. It's been a hectic week, innit?
Yeah, it's been a hectic week, John. It's been a slow week. We're in slap bang in the middle of this international break as well. What we wanted after that Glasgow derby fiasco, John, was a game immediately, and we're having to wait 2 weeks before we play Hearts. So that's that was the problem with this international break and the Glasgow derby, John. We wanted to win that for that reason, so we could go into it with at least a draw, John. But it didn't happen. So let's get right into it, John. Let's get right into everything that's happened. We've got the Scotland game as well. We've got all the Celtic players away on international duty. So that was a win for Scotland the other night, John. That was 1-0 to Scotland against, who was it, Greece? Greece 0, John Souttar 1, John, because all the press have went on about is the John Souttar performance for Scotland. It was a good result for Scotland. I think our man Ralston played a blinder, John. I watched wee bits and bobs of it. Ralston never put a foot wrong, did he?
I couldn't tell you. I never even knew the game was on. I totally forgot all about it. I just seen the result this morning, and I read that Ralston did have a good game as well. So that's positive news. Aye.
Yeah. Also, Kieran didn't start the game, John. He's fully fit, Kieran, but he didn't start him. He brought him on as a sub later on in the game. So I thought that was a wee bit strange. A player of Kieran Tierney's quality starting on the bench, but I suppose you've done the job right. Manager gets the win against a very, very decent Greece team, John. So brilliant result for Scotland there anyway, John. So we'll park that there. We'll maybe touch back on that a wee bit later on. Other wee bits of news, John. Neil Lennon, he's just been announced as the Dunfermline manager. So good luck to our Neil Lennon, John, Celtic legend. Neil Lennon getting the Dunfermline job. So he'll be up against the likes of Scott Brown in the Championship.
Aye, it's good to see Lenny work as well, isn't it? I mean, he's a Celtic legend, Lenny. Well loved, well respected. So, good luck to Lenny. All the very best. Good to see another ex-Celtic man getting a job in Scotland. Bit too late for him to qualify for the playoffs, I think, though, for Lenny.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I think Dunfermline were struggling with this. So I think it's all about next season. I know it sounds like Rangers done it next season, but it's all about next season for Dunfermline. That's why they've got a quality, experienced manager in Neil Lennon, John. So good luck to Lenny. It's been a full week. That game is gone. It's done and dusted. We've lost the game. Fair enough. Sometimes you lose games. These things happen. But we want to touch on the performance of some of our players. We want to touch on the fallout as well with the incidents that happened at Celtic Park last week. These celebrations from Rangers supporters, coming on the Celtic channels, not just ours, but others as well, with that vile comments, the vile support, John, that really is quite bad. We allowed them back into paradise. And for 96 minutes, it was just vile sectarian songs coming from that wee corner of paradise, John.
You don't expect any different. I mean, these songs are supposed to be banned. It's allowed. And they're letting off another banned thing, which is pyros. They're letting them off. That's just the pyros. Maybe you don't mind that so much, but certainly don't want to be hearing that sectarian filth. It's a scab on their club that it really needs to be eradicated. It never will be though, because it's born and bred into these people. Basically, they'll never change. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's it, John. I think Celtic should be looking at another ban for these supporters from Celtic Park, John. I don't think we should be. I think we should reverse the agreement to let these Rangers supporters back into Celtic Park, because it was every single one of them singing these songs, And then you've got all the other stuff that happened. The police not letting the the Green Brigade into their own stadium, John, to follow their team. Another disgusting act there, if you like, from the Scottish Police, John, not letting the Green Brigade into Celtic Park. In fact, John, we'll just go into it just now before the Scotland stuff, because we're on a roll here. Let's get right into it. So, Police Scotland not letting Celtic supporters into Celtic Park. What's your thoughts on that, John?
It's just wrong, isn't it? It's just totally wrong. I know the Green Brigade probably maybe had some banners they wanted to put up. They maybe checked the banners and thought, no, you're not getting into the stadium with banners like that. Whatever the situation was, I heard about it, the cops stopped it. It's just sickening, basically, to not letting Celtic fans into their own stadium for maybe putting a banner up when in the corner, the Rangers end, you've got 2,000 odd Rangers fans screaming sectarian filth at Catholics.
Yeah, that's it, John. And we don't want to go into what all the songs they were singing means. We know what they mean. We know what the songs are. We know exactly what the club is all about, John. So that's that. It's down to the SFA to do something about that. We can only bring it up on our podcast. And just before we go any further, John, this is no sour grapes. I wouldn't say we deserved to get nothing out of the game. I think we deserved at least a point out of that game. So this is no sour grapes. They won the game. We're still 13 points clear. Blah, blah, blah. They've won the Dead Rubber Cup yet again, John. They've won it last year. They've won it this year. So that's 2 in a row. 2 Dead Rubber Cups for the Rangers. That's fine. Let them take it. Not a problem. They can win, John. They can win every game from now to the end of the season, as far as I'm concerned. As long as we win our games, we get that title wrapped up as soon as possible, John. So it's not about that. It's not about the football, although we will touch on that as well very soon. So let's move on, John, with this stuff that's been happening. No Celtic fans, no Green Brigades, or very little Green Brigade allowed into that section there. The police stopped them from going in because of banners or whatever, John. It's absolutely ridiculous. It just shouldn't be allowed. And the Green Brigade, John, have came out fighting, haven't they? So they've came out fighting. They're not letting this one lie. And fair play to the Green Brigade, complaining about the police. They've got their own wee, forums up and things like that about Police Scotland. So they're not letting this one lie, are they?
No, and they're quite right. And like I says, if a banner hurts you more than the sectarian chants in the away end, then I think the cops really need to have a word with themselves, because nothing ever gets done about it. This is stuff that's banned. And the cops are quite happy to let that slide. That's nothing. We'll just let that go. But there's Celtic fans with a bit of cloth with something written on it. We'll ban them instead. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right, John. And it's, but I tell you who isn't letting it go. UEFA are not letting it go, John. They are going to come down hard on Rangers. They really are, for their banner against Fenerbahce, John. Their banners, their missile throwing, everything else. The SFA let all these things go. Sectarian songs, sectarian abuse, John. But the UEFA are not letting this one go. So they're going to get hammered for that. So well done to UEFA for that, not letting these things go. The SFA, they're going to have a look at this Cherney incident, John, the water, the spraying of the water into the stand, the main stand at Celtic Park, soaking some Celtic fans there. Unbelievable. You've got people like McCoist coming out saying, you give him a knighthood. This idiot McCoist is just getting worse and worse. Every time you hear this wee fat clown, John, it's getting worse and worse. His beetroot, gin-soaked face, John. Honest to God, give him a knighthood for almost causing a riot, John. What do you think of that?
I wasn't aware that he said that. If he did that, it's disgusting. Again, you don't expect anything less. You just do not expect anything less. It's the other thing was McCoist has nothing to do with Rangers. He's just a wee cheerleader, basically. That's all he is. Just a wee cheerleader. He will never say anything bad says about fans or anything. Vile fans, vile songs, vile banners. He'll never say anything about that. He loves it. He actually loves all that. We know that. But Ferguson, his condemning of Cherney was, it wouldn't be me. How's that condemning a player? It wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me, mate. Know what I mean? Ha ha ha. That's the level of manager they've got in their team.
To let a man that's just been sacked by Celtic Hearts, John, do that to you, that's Brendan will sort that out. Don't worry about that. He'll sort that out. Okay, let's move on, John, with this stuff. Because I said that on Talk Sport, by the way, John, in case anybody's wondering where I got that from, it's on Talk Sport. It's there. The video footage is actually there of it as well. Give him a knighthood for almost causing a riot, and it could easily have been a riot, John. The Celtic fans were not happy there.
No, I wouldn't be happy if he did it to me, put it that way. I think he's very lucky there wasn't some Celtic fans actually reacted to that. Although they've reacted verbally, I'm talking about another kind of reaction. We don't want to see that anyway, but he's a very, very lucky boy. And we just hope that the SFA throw the book at him, because he should never be playing another game for that club. If you're going on to a hostile environment trying to antagonise the home crowd, you're no right in the head. I'm sorry, you're just no right in the head if that's your attitude. You just shouldn't be playing for that club again. And I don't rate him as a player. He's half decent, I suppose, but any player doing that, if it was a Celtic player doing that at Ibrox, I would be condemning that kind of behaviour, Xander, to be honest with you. Why is he doing that? What an idiot I'd be calling him. But the Rangers camp are loving it. Yeah,
of course they are. They're mindless. It really is. 13 points behind in the league, and look at the reaction. But John, I think that's the reason why he done it, because he knows he's not going to be at Rangers next season. He knows he's not going to be at Celtic Park ever again. That's the last time he'll be at Celtic Park, because Rangers can't afford this guy. The takeover thing is a nonsense. We've said it for day one, John. We're not going to that just now. We'll leave that for another podcast. But they're relying on this takeover happening, and it just ain't going to happen, John. It ain't going to happen. But let's move on with this. The fallout from this game, John. We'll get to the football side of it in a wee minute, I promise you. But this is more important just now, because the 3 points are gone. We're still 13 points clear. We're going to win the league. The football side of it is not important at the moment, John. It's we'll get to our party soon enough. Don't worry about that. And by the way, we need to make them suffer when we party. We really do. But that's for another time, John. That's for another time. Let's move on with this. The damage to the stadium, John. The damage to the seats yet again. The animals have destroyed the toilets. They've destroyed the seats. And you can't just say it's just a handful of Rangers supporters, John, because every single one of them were singing their vile abuse. And look at the damage that's been caused yet again inside Celtic Park. So as I said 15 minutes ago, we need to overturn this decision to let them into Celtic Park, John. I don't care, right? I don't care if Celtic fans are not allowed into Ibrox if that's the case for the last game this season. I couldn't care less. Let's get them into Celtic Park for good.
Oh, I definitely agree. I totally disagreed with Celtic letting them back in the first place. I've been angry about that. I says it all along, do not let them back in. You did a poll, thousands of people entered, 97% of Celtic fans did not want them back in the stadium. What does Celtic do? We don't care. We'll let them back in to wreck the stadium, create havoc, wreck the stadium, and it's just bad on the Celtic board's half, to be honest with you. I'm like most Celtic fans, 97%, according to the poll, Celtic fans didn't want them back, but Celtic decided, nah, we don't care about stuff like that. We just want them back in. For what reason? You'll need to ask them.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be overturned. The fans have a loud voice, John, and I think if that voice is loud enough, that'll be overturned. They can't go on every time they come to Celtic Park, putting nets up, trying to protect the Celtic fans either side of them. And then because they can't even throw missiles at the fans, they destroy the seats, John. They destroy the stadium inside the toilets. As you said, they have that wee drink as well while they're in there as well. So
They like a wee drink in the toilet, don't they?
Yeah, that's it, John. I know we're having a wee laugh there, but this is serious. It is serious. It's costing us tens of thousands of pounds to get all this fixed up, John. It really is. And that takes us on to the racist banner that UEFA are going to charge them for. Right, John? Right, okay, this is nothing to do with Celtic. This is all to do with them. But we're going to bring it up because it's their fans that are being allowed into Paradise, John. So this is why we're bringing it up. It's them that are in Celtic Park. It's them that are causing all the grief. And it's them that are throwing the racist banners, John. Let's look into that, right? Why has it taken UEFA to do something about this when this game was 2 weeks ago? and the SFA done absolutely nothing about it. So why is it taking UEFA to do something about this when it happened over 2 weeks ago? And the SFA have just left it, not a word. Scottish press have just left it, not a word. The newspapers have left it, not a word. The Rangers supporters are loving it, over the moon with these banners. So why has it taken 2 weeks and UEFA to do something about this?
Don't know. I really don't know, but like he says, why are the SFA not doing something about it? They're the ones that says, I don't know if they're the ones that initially says about banning the sectarian chants. That's a way that they're doing nothing about that. It's banned and they're doing nothing about that. Then they've got racist banners. SFA, nah, we'll accept that. That's all right. We'll do nothing about that. It's the whole thing's a mess with them. Their club's a total mess from top to bottom. It's a mess. Their whole club. And there was one of the players calling Celtic Park a dump. Was it what's his name? Sterling calling Celtic Park a dump. I can only assume that he was in the Rangers toilets after they'd wrecked it, because if he's calling Celtic Park a dump, but he thinks ibrox is lovely when it looks like prisoner cell block H, something not right with him either.
It's unbelievable. This is all what you've got to put at the back of your mind, John. This is all when Celtic are about to win a treble. I remember back in, I think it was 2009, Rangers won the league. I think Rangers won the league 2009 by Walter Smith there, John, and Celtic played Rangers at Celtic Park, and we beat them. The league was over, but we beat them. The same as just now. League is over, but they beat us. The exact same situation, John, and the Celtic fans walked home, happy with the win, happy with the 3 points, but no over celebrations, no, flying stupid flags. They just all went home, enjoyed their night, and that was the end of it after a night or two. But this is now Friday going into Saturday, John, and they're still celebrating after a 3-2 win at Celtic Park in a more or less a dead rubber game, John. This is unheard of stuff here.
Aye, it's astronomical. I've never heard the likes in my life. They must be the only club in the world that do stuff like that. They're celebrating like they've, I don't know, like they've got, like every person involved with that club's won the lottery or something like that. It's very strange behaviour, isn't it? Very, very odd. I've never seen it like it.
Yeah, it's as I say, John, they've won the Dead Rubber Cup 2 years in a row. They've finished second. I think maybe what they're celebrating is, obviously I'm being flippant here, but they've just been confirmed as finished second, John. So that's them into the UEFA Cup. So maybe they're celebrating officially finishing second in the league. Maybe that's what it's all about. I'm not too sure, because I don't understand. You put it roles reversed. Celtic are second. They've just beat Rangers. Rangers have won the treble. You'd be going home to hide, John, wouldn't you? You'd be going home to put the covers over your head. You'll have a wee drink because we've beat them, aye, and you would celebrate for that one night. But, John, they're acting as though they've actually just won the treble.
Well, this is it, isn't it? That is what it's like. It's like they've just won the treble at Celtic Park or something. In fact, it's beyond that. It's beyond Celtic winning the league at Ibrox and all that. This is like 10 steps above all that. And they've won absolutely nothing apart from a game of football. So I don't understand all this stuff. I really don't. And where the direction that club's gone in is pretty bad. The racist stuff, the wrecking the stadiums, the players attacking the Celtic supporters, all that stuff. I don't know where they're going. I don't know where all this is coming from. I don't understand it. It's the talk about being irrational. That's irrational on turbo, isn't it?
Yeah, you can just imagine if they were winning stuff, John. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the scary thought. If they were actually winning trophies, that's the frightening thought. Right, John, let's get into the football then. We've not had a re-say on it. I know it's 5-6 days later, right? Okay, but we'll not mention too much about the actual, game itself. What I want to touch on is some of the performances from our boys, what happened, why it went wrong. Obviously, the first half, John, we never turned up. on the preview, we both said we've got to turn up. We can't do an ibrox, and that's exactly what happened. An ibrox happened for 45 minutes, John. We never turned up. They pumped that ball down to that corner. They got a free kick. They got a corner kick. They scored for it, and from then on in, it was an uphill battle for Celtic. It really was. We just couldn't get out of our own half in the first half, if you know what I mean. Then a much better second half, 2 each, looking as though we're going to go in and win the game. And then Alistair Johnson just falls, slips, whatever it is, what happened to him, I don't know. Nobody near him. He just goes down, bounces right through to Ingame, or whatever the guy's name is. He puts it away, John, and we lose the game 3-2. It's a game we should never have actually lost, but we're well worth a point, I think. We were looking for the winner, John, and I don't know, a long ball, a straight long ball from the Buckmeister right through to Alistair Johnson, who falls, and then your man's more or less got not a tap in, but it's nobody near him, John. Nobody near him whatsoever to finish it, to make it 3-2. So let's have a wee look at the people that, well, I say were hiding, John. There was players hiding in this one. And players are allowed to have an off game, of course they are. That happens. We lose games of football. That's their third loss in the league this season. So it's not our first loss, John. So we have lost a couple of games before this, but there was a couple of players hiding. Let's start with Nicholas, John. Where was he this entire game? Where was he?
Where are they now? Aye, he was poor. The whole team were poor in the first half, to be honest with you. They were undone by long balls and long throw-ins. This is a guy that was sacked by Celtic Hearts, Barry Ferguson, getting one over on Celtic at Celtic Park by punting long balls. A team, Rangers, who played no better than, I don't know, Alloa, let's say. That's the way Alloa would play against Celtic. It was just Celtic defenders on the day were really, really poor. And, the first goal, was it the first goal, second goal, I can't remember, the one at the corner kick. The wee guy winning the ball, the wee guy on the pitch, sticks a header into the net. Nobody near him, free header, bad defending. The one Alistair slips, bad defending. And it was all through set pieces and long balls. The defence really needs shoring up here. It's really, really poor right now.
Of course it is, sure, because we've mentioned this a few times, and obviously other people have mentioned it. We're conceding goals, a lot of goals, domestically, John, in the league. Hibs scoring against us, Aberdeen scoring. Just about every club has scored against us, John. So we need to shore up that defence, like you say. Obviously, this summer we've got Kieran coming back, Kieran Tierney at left back. But I think we need to look at, strengthening that defence. Even Big Cameron has let it slip the last few games as well, John. He's not been his usual rock solid self, John. Absolutely brilliant defender for Celtic. And as you say, everybody's allowed an off game. Even Brendan's allowed to have an off day as a manager. But he really must be annoyed with letting that wee clown Ferguson do that to him, John. He really must be, angry with himself at that, because, I don't know if you saw the interview after the game as well. I put it on Facebook, John, Brendan's interview. I had to drown out the Rangers music that we were blasting in the dressing room while he was trying to do his interview. I tried to drown it out as best as I could, but you can still hear it, and they were all shouting and bawling and all the rest of it, John, while Brendan's trying to do his interview. They're just a club with absolutely zero class and zero trophies.
Oh, they are totally classless. Total classless from top to bottom. Every single one of them, classless. And that's not to take it away for the half-decent. There is half-decent Rangers fans out there. We know that. Guys that just like to watch their team, or they take their family to watch the game, whatever. But I'm afraid it's looking like the majority of them are pretty bad, to be honest with you. And we're talking about their players as well here. Totally classless. And I don't know why this was such a big deal for them. It was a huge deal for them. But Brendan getting outdone by Ferguson, it's honestly embarrassing, to be honest with you, Xander. I was embarrassed by that, Celtic getting beat with them, because they're such a poor team. And just ask Queen's Park, St Mirren, Motherwell, these teams go to Ibrox and beat them convincingly. No problem, bang, bang, there you go. Take your defeat and you'll like it, kind of thing. But they can come to Celtic Park and turn Celtic over. I don't get it. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 4 defeats in a row, Ibrox, John. I think they're one away from the worst ever Ibrox record, John. And as you say, they turned us over at Celtic Park. It doesn't add up. But it happened, John. So let's move on with some of the Celtic lads' performances. I know we're going on about this 5 days later, but this is the first time I've been on since then, so we're going to have a wee say on it. Big Narocki, John, I thought he was decent. I know we conceded 3 goals. The defence scored. The defence conceded, 3 goals. So it's hard to say that defenders played well, but I thought Big Narocki, he actually, in the first half, he sort of kept that score down.
I was okay. I'm trying to take any positives away from that game, to be honest with you, and I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to take any positives away from it. Dyson maybe always gets pass marks. I thought Rio in the last half hour, I thought he was magnificent.
Yeah.
But Kasper Schmeichel kicking the ball straight out to Rangers players. What the heck was going on? It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing getting turned over by that rubbish. But I'm trying to take any positives away for that game, Xander, and I can't find any.
No, there's no positives. I mean, when you lose a game, we're not like Rangers. We don't celebrate defeats. We always look at try and bring out some positives if there is any, and then break it down. That's what we do. We don't celebrate defeats. Fenerbahce 2-0 defeat. They celebrated like they just won the Europa League. And by the way, Atletico Bilbao will take care of them. What a team they are. But that's another story for another day. We'll look at that when that happens. All right, John, we'll leave that there then, because as you say, there's not really much point in going on about the performance of the boys anymore. They never turned up. Players never turned up. Nicholas was really poor, John. I think that boy needs to get a grip of himself, that boy, because he's been off form for about 4 or 5 weeks now. It's ever since Jotas came to the club, I've noticed that Kuhn, he's went down a peg or two.
He's definitely went down a wee bit in his performances, but he's still a good player. I just, in that particular game last weekend, I just thought he was really poor. Just like most of the players. I mean, it was a better second half, but I'm still not taking any positives away from that. Had chances to win that game, that was the thing. Had chances to win it. But if we would have took a point, the positives I would have taken out of that would have been it was a better second half. Maybe that's about it. It was a better second half. That's the only positive I can take out of that whole thing.
Yeah. What about the referee and VAR, John? A shocking tackle on Dyson. Absolutely disgusting. Can't remember who it was. Don't care who it was because nothing was done about it. But a terrible tackle right down his Achilles, wasn't it? I think I know it was a week ago. I think it was his Achilles. It was really dangerous, quite high as well. 6 inches off the ground with the studs right into the Achilles. Very dangerous. Not even looked at by VAR. Play on. Not a problem with Mr. Beaton. Yeah. And then there was the 2 penalty claims as well. Also not looked at by VAR. It's as if the VAR screens weren't working, John.
Aye, it was that free kick that came. Their first goal came from. That wasn't a free kick.
Yeah,
it was a free kick, and as soon as that free kick was given, I texted you and I says, no during the game, but a couple of days ago, I says, as soon as that free kick was given, I knew we were losing that game. I just had a bad feeling from that moment onwards. I'm thinking, where's the free kick there? And as soon as that was given, I thought they're going to score for this. Sure enough, it was a throw in after it, a corner after it, another throw in, another corner, bang, goal. And I felt it coming from the second the whistle went for that free kick. And I'm shouting at that. That's never a free kick. Why is that given as a free kick? So right away, you've got the refs at it, straight off the bat. Not even a minute gone, and the refs are giving them free kicks for nothing. It was a sign of things to come.
Yeah, and that is exactly what came for the full 90. We did get a couple of goals in this one. Let's have a wee word on the goals then, John. Beautiful header from Dyson, out jumping 2 giants there, Big Shooter and Balogun, John, out jumping the A2 for another goal for Dyson and a beautiful header and a lovely assist from Jota. These are the positives we can take. 2 nice goals, one from Dyson and the other from Rio, John. A lovely wee slide finish past the Buttmeister, John. Lovely wee finish from Rio as well. But it was all in vain because they got that long ball goal in the last couple of minutes, John. But it was a couple of nice finishes.
Nice finishes, but like I says, I can't take any positives from it because we lost the game. Better second half. Dyson, of course, incredible. Rio was incredible for the last 30 minutes. Before that, he was non-existent. But for some reason, he seemed to flick a switch, didn't he? Rio Hatate seemed to flick a switch and suddenly became this technical wizard that we signed, we all loved. He was back to that, and it was great to see for the last half hour or whatever. So maybe that's a positive. Maybe Rio's found his form.
Yeah. Okay, and obviously Callum missing and Bernardo missing, John. We missed day two in the midfield as well. Arnie Ingles just wasn't at the races either, was he? Okay, John, we'll leave that there, right? Because that's enough said about that game. It was 5-6 days ago now, so we've had our say on it. That's it. I put it to bed. Although UEFA and SFA haven't put the antics to bed because the punishments are still to come from the fallout from that game and the Europa League game last week. Right, John, okay. Hearts up next for us. It now turns into quite a big game, doesn't it? We can't afford to drop points here. Although we've got that 13-point lead, obviously. But what we want to do is beat Hearts at Celtic Park next Saturday, 3 o'clock kick-off. We'll do a preview for that nearer the time, obviously. But we were on it, John. Beating them would put us back up to 16 points clear with them to go to Dens Park.
Aye, and Dundee will take points off them, guaranteed. Aye, well, we really need to take care of Hearts. Tricky opposition, Hearts, you know, we've always said that about Hearts. They're a good team. They've got a lot of good players in their team. Very tough game. It's just a pity that it has to come 2 weeks after the derby, isn't it? Because it's always good to get straight back into it after a defeat. But sadly, we need to wait another week. That's boring Scotland stuff. I won't be watching any of that. Don't really care, to be honest with you, anymore. They just want Celtic. I knew Scotland were playing, but I just couldn't face it because it's just I wanted Celtic playing to get straight back into the action again, get the boys back on the park, get them ready, get them fighting, and then international break. It's just it does my head in, Xander, to be honest with you. Cannot be bothered with it.
Yeah, and as you say, get them back to the park. Brendan will want them back to the park. He'll be angry with himself, John. You know, he really will. You saw him in that interview, his face in that interview. He's really, really, maybe embarrassed with himself, actually. But letting that happen with their manager, Barry Ferguson, John, he looked a wee bit embarrassed, he looked a wee bit angry. And obviously, with everything that was going on in the background, the music and all that nonsense, you know, disrespect to the Celtic manager, you know, that will be in his mind for the next game, John, and for the next time we go to Ibrox. I think you'll see a different Celtic as of next Saturday, John. Obviously, we're going to have Callum back, we'll have Bernardo back, we'll also have Jamesy back, and we'll also have Trusty back as well, John. So you'll have a full squad to pick from against Hearts.
Aye, well, this is it, isn't it? I think we've really missed Bernardo in the centre of the park, bringing him on as a sub. I think we've really missed that.
Yeah.
Do you think we missed Callum against Sevco on Sunday?
Oh, it would have made a massive difference, John. He wouldn't have let that first 45 minutes happen at Celtic Park, that's for sure. He'd have grabbed the game with the scruff of the neck and would have took it for there. But it's all buts and maybes. We definitely missed him, but he's back for the Hearts game, John. So, you know, it's definitely, John, 100% we would have missed Callum McGregor against Sevco because he just wouldn't have let that happen, John. The captain wouldn't have let that happen. Big Cameron Carter-Vickers, he was very quiet in the game against Rangers, wasn't he? He was very quiet. He wasn't his usual self. And then you've got your man, Schlipp, who had a good, you know, first 10 minutes and then fell away, didn't he? So, as you said on the preview that he's never played in a Glasgow derby, the game was maybe looking at bringing on Taylor, John, Greg Taylor. Do you think he would have done a better job than Schlipp? He looked a wee bit nervous, Schlipp, didn't he?
I definitely think I did say in the preview of that game that Greg Taylor should start because he knows the derby inside it. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a bad move by Brendan giving the start to Schlipp. Even though I like Schlipp, I think he's a cracking player. But Greg knows that derby inside out. And I think that maybe been a wee error from Brendan.
Yeah, he'll be angry. The manager will be angry. You know, as I said at the very start, John, we can lose a game, but it's the way we lost it, isn't it? So Brendan will be choking to get the players onto the training field to get that sorted out.
Needs to get the defence sorted out pronto. I mean, that needs addressed urgently. There's a problem there in that defence. There's
John,
big gaps everywhere.
Of course there is, John. It's the ball over the top. Hibs done it the game before, ball over the top a few times. And Rangers are a long ball team. So, you know, the warning signs were there and we didn't adhere to the warnings, John. So, yeah, I think he's going to be unhappy with that, obviously. And he'll get that sorted out. But we've been saying that about the defence now, John, for weeks and weeks, 5, maybe even 6 weeks. Get the defence sorted. I don't know what's going on because they're good players. Big Carter Vickers, Trusty. You know, I'm still not 100% on Trusty, if I'm going to be honest with you. I like to look in a Rocky. And then we had Taylor, who was off the boil, then okay, then off the boil, okay. So you can't afford to have players, you know, playing okay one week and then poor the next week, John. We need a consistent, solid defence, John, and that's what I think Brendan will be working on in the next couple of weeks.
Definitely. I mean, if anything needs worked on, it's definitely the defensive side of the game, because everywhere else on the park seems okay. Oh, I think we're a wee bit lightweight with Callum missing. But other than that, when Callum's there, I think the rest of the team look great on the park. They're great going forward. But you need to hide behind the sofa, don't you, when it comes to the defensive side of the game? Every long ball that Sefco punted up, diving in behind the couch, you know. Well, no literally, but you know what I mean. You can't let a long ball team do that to you. I mean, Sefco, amateur tactics, and Celtic were outdone by that. That's embarrassing.
Yes. One at Ibrox, John, 3 beat us at Ibrox. It's 3 defeats against them in a row. That is unbelievable, considering the points gap we have in the league, you know. So, Brendan will get that sorted, John. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's park it. Let's get into the other stuff that's happening just now. Then, John, I want to quickly run through some of the games. Our boys are away on international duty, aren't they? Dyson's away, Rio's away, Ralston's also away, Kasper Schmeichel's away with Denmark. Sinisalo, he is also away, but he doesn't really play anyway. Alistair's away with Canada. Young's away with South Korea. Ida's away with Ireland. John, so quite a few players there. Let me quickly run through a few of the results so far and who they're still to play. So Dyson and Rio, John, both sat out the game on Thursday against Bahrain. I think Japan won 2-0 in that one, but both Dyson and Rio never played, John. So I suppose that's a wee bit of good news with Japan still to play Saudi Arabia on Tuesday.
Aye, I don't know what the Japan manager's thinking, leaving Dyson Maeda out the team. I mean, I know he says about Kyogo, you won't get a game for Japan while you're playing at Celtic. That doesn't make sense to me, because he's given Hatate and Maeda a chance, but he never gave Kyogo a chance. That doesn't make sense to me. Have we lost a really good striker because of that reason?
Yeah, that's it, John. The wee man's struggling over there at Rennes. He really is. And he was flying at Celtic, scoring every week. In fact, his last game he scored 3 in the Champions League. You've got to look at that, John. You've got to look at that realistically. Kyogo scored 3 goals in the Champions League, John. The game that he played for Celtic, actually, his last kick of the ball, all 3 were disallowed for being offside, of course. But the wee man was just a goal machine, and he's really, really missed just now for us, with big Adam Ida not firing at all just now.
Aye, there's a problem up front, and when it comes, not a problem, but a dilemma when it comes to the front. It's Dyson Maeda or Adam Ida. And the way I see back to the derby again, Maeda wasn't playing on the right hand side, keeping the Tavmeister quiet.
Yeah, the left, yeah.
Aye, the left, sorry, aye. Dyson was there, I think it meant, because Tavernier was getting up the park with Dyson playing through the middle. He wasn't getting on Tavernier, which is there's I think you really need to stop Tavernier because he is decent going forward, Tavernier. I think you really need to stop him playing. And Dyson was playing through the middle, so that never happened. You had Jota taking care of Tavernier, and that, for me, that didn't work.
Yeah, sorry, John, you broke up a wee bit there, but I got what you're saying about Jota. He's not going to mark Tavernier out the game, is he? So as soon as they switched it over, didn't he? That's when we scored the 2 goals. As soon as either came on and Dyson went on the left and Jota on the right. Jota crosses a ball into Dyson and he buries it. So it made a difference, John, switching it back to the way it normally is. It really did. But both Dyson and Rio, John, they didn't even get on against Bahrain on Thursday night. So both of them have been rested. So that is a bonus as far as I'm concerned. Ralston played the full game against Greece, played a blind dart. I think Brendan should maybe look at giving Ralston some more minutes. Kasper Schmeichel kept a clean sheet. So another clean sheet for Denmark, John. So well done to Kasper. And they're 1-0 against Portugal, John. So that was a decent a clean sheet for Kasper Schmeichel against Portugal with all the talent that they've got. And also Denmark play on Sunday as well. So Kasper will be playing on Sunday. Also, Sinisalo, he's away to play Malta and Lithuania. It doesn't really matter what he does, John. We'll not look at him just now because he doesn't get a game for us anyway for the time being. Alistair Johnston played the full game against Mexico in a 2-0 loss against Mexico. Alistair played the full game and he also picked up a yellow card. So it doesn't get any better for Alistair just now, does it?
No, he was really bad against Celtic. We keep going back to, you're mentioning players, it's reminding me of the Derby game.
Yeah.
Alistair Johnston missing sitters and all that stuff, and then he falls for the winner. What a poor game he had. Really, really poor. And it's, I don't know how he played for Canada, but if Sunday was anything to go by, I can only imagine it.
Yeah, that's it, Sean. And by the way, all these boys, they will bounce back. You know, they'll be angry with themselves as well. Yang, John, versus for South Korea, against Oman on Thursday, John. Yang, he came on as a sub in the last 5 minutes. So same as Celtic, really, into it. Gets 5-minute run out. So 5-minute appearance, no goals, no assists, nothing like that. He just gets his 5 minutes. And they play Jordan on Tuesday as well, John. So Yang, 2 games for South Korea. Big Adam Ida for Ireland, John. On Thursday they played Bulgaria. I think it was a 2-1 win for Ireland against Bulgaria. It was an unused sub, John. So that tells you everything about Big Adams for him just now. He needs to shake himself, John. Get himself, back in form because we know he can do it. Scoring against Aston Villa twice, I think he scored about 9 goals this season actually, and he scored a double in the Champions League against Aston Villa. So we know the big man can do it. He just needs to shake himself a wee bit, John, and get back onto that training field and get their shooting boots back on.
It's just inconsistency with Adam Ida. I mean, in regards to starting games, it's very inconsistent. I think he's maybe the type of player that likes to start every game, but he's not going to get that with Dyson Maeda there. But he's capable, Big Adam. We know all these Celtic players are capable. They wouldn't be at Celtic if they were bad players, let's put it that way. But but I think Big Adam just needs to just spike the bullet and say, look, I'm on the bench, but I'm a useful tool for Celtic. I can come on and do a job for them. And that's right now, that's what I'm going to have to accept, because the guy in front of me is Dyson Maeda, and there's no way I'm pushing him out the team. But I can come on and do a job when needed. That's what he needs to tell himself.
I know. It's you got to look at the board, with Big Adam Ida in the January transfer window, John. We were screaming, especially, with Kyogo, we were screaming for another striker to come in. And I think it's down to penny pinching, John. We didn't get another striker in.
Could be. It could be. I wasn't calling Adam Ida a tool there, by the way. I just meant he's a useful tool for the job.
No, that's fine. No. Some people would agree with you, by the way, but anyway, no me, I'm not agreeing with it. I just think he's off form, the big man. But no, John, penny pinching for the board, John. Everybody was screaming for another striker. And it looks as though it's coming back to haunt us a wee bit, because Big Adam is definitely off form just now. I think he scored was it the game before Hibs? Was it St Mirren? I can't even remember. He scored. I think we were already winning the game. I think we were 4-2 up or something, John, and he scored. But he's not doing it when the game is close, nothing each. He's really is struggling just now, the big man. And I was sort of hoping if he did play against the Rangers that he would get that goal and boost his confidence, but it didn't happen, and now he's been benched for the entire game for Ireland, John. So we definitely need to look at this striker situation in the summer, John, that's for sure.
Aye, and they brought back Kenny as well. He's disappeared. Why not just leave the boy where he was?
Mm-hmm.
Celtic's got no intention of using him. I mean, he was banging in the goals. Who was it he was playing for again?
Was it Shamrock?
Was it Shamrock? One of the Irish teams anyway, but
yeah.
He's doing a job for that team, and Celtic snatched him away from there, but he's probably happy he's banging in goals and all that. Comes to Celtic, doesn't get a sniff. I think that was poor on Celtic's part there. They should have just left that boy where he was.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, John, we're near the end of the season, so we just need to get these other 3 wins over the line, and hopefully Big Adam will help us do that, starting with Hearts on Saturday. Then it's St Johnstone, and then it's St Johnstone away, and then it's Kilmarnock before the split, John. So that's what I've got to look forward to. Right, the only other one that's left is Big Cameron Carter-Vickers, obviously, who was benched, actually, John. He never played against Panama, and 1-0 loss to Panama. So I don't know why USA never picked Big Vickers, but Big Vickers he played poorly against the Rangers. The game before that, he wasn't his usual self, John. I just noticed a wee difference in Big Cameron, but he's still a big outstanding defender. So it's a bonus that he didn't play this game, John. It's another player that gets a rest.
Aye, well, that's good. He might play the next game that's coming up. I don't know, but we'll wait and see. The games, they have not happened yet. I don't watch any anyway. I just, I just wait for the news that all the players are coming back fit and healthy. That's all I'm interested in.
Yeah, I don't think USA have another game, John. I think that's it for them. So the big man's went away and he's no played. So it's a bonus there. Everybody else has the double game in this international break. Right, John, that's it for the international stuff. Let's get into some comments. By the way, Scotland play on Sunday, I think it is, against Greece. I'm sure it's Sunday. As you say, John, couldn't care less, to be honest with you. As long as our Celtic boys come back injury-free, that's all we're looking for. Right, comments, John. Obviously, the Brendan Rodgers video, we'll take the comments from there, because that's where all the comments are regarding the Glasgow Derby. A lot of unhappy Celtic fans for various different reasons, John. The performance, the manager, individual players, all the goings on with the Rangers fans, the Rangers players. There's just a lot of comments there. I noticed that. And by the way, before you mention the comments, Rangers supporters are welcome to come onto the channel and leave their comments. By all means, not a problem, right? But I had to disable the comments in the end, John, because of the filth and the vile nature of the comments they were leaving on the YouTube channel. So I had to disable them. If anybody was wondering why they were disabled, I did it because of the vile comments. Kids come onto YouTube and read our comments, and they're having to read that, John. So I had to delete them and block the comments eventually, John. But there is still some there if you want to read the comments for there.
Aye. Anyway, first up was one club since 1888. It says, sort it, Brendan. 9 goals conceded versus the serial losers in 3 games. Defence needs solidified now.
That's just what we've been saying, isn't it, John? We didn't mention the 9 goals, mind you. That is actually quite a lot, isn't it? 9 in 3 games. Yeah, the cup game, wasn't it? We conceded 3 in the cup game as well. 3 at Ibrox and then 3 at Paradise the other day there. Aye, sort it, Brendan. That's the message.
Well, exactly, aye. I mean, it's not as if it's Barcelona we're playing against. It's Sefco. You know what I mean? Absolute dross. I mean, it's unbelievable, embarrassing. But there you go.
That's it.
Anyway, thanks for that. One club.
Cheers, one club.
Paul McEwen says, hail, hail the Celtic, and the Celtic women are well. No, really, Paul. no, since Sunday, anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one to get over because of who they had in charge. Ferguson, we wanted to see the smile wiped off that wee guy's face, to be honest with you. But it wasn't to be, Brendan, you'll get another crack at the whip in April when we go to Ibrox. So we'll see what happens there, John.
Exactly. Paul always leaves that comment. Win, lose or draw, he leaves the same comment. Doesn't matter. Thanks anyway, Paul.
Yes, Paul.
This makes me laugh. Actually, you're sitting raging with a defeat and then you read that.
Paul's good. Yeah, I like Paul.
He's quite funny. Anyway, thanks, Paul. Brown Warrior was up next. Brown Warrior says, a rare blip? That's a question mark. A rare blip?
No, it's not a rare blip. Sorry, John. It's not a rare blip, is it? With three goals conceded in each game, the last three, so it's not a rare blip, is it? Right away before you read the comment, John, he's got a point there right away, hasn't he?
Aye, right away, he's right in with it. Aye, a rare blip. Aye. Question mark. So Brown Warrior's obviously questioning Brendan's interview. A rare blip, says he.
Yeah.
They have put 6 past us since the new year. Putting lipstick on a pig was never a great look. What a crank comment that is, Brown Warrior, and it's absolutely true.
It's absolutely true. Of course it is. Putting lipstick on a pig is never a good look, is it? But as I say 5 minutes ago, John, Brendan, as I'm being stung now twice at Ibrox at Celtic Park. The cup game, we went on to win it, so we get out of jail with that one. He's got to change the tactics against them, John. It's as simple as that.
Oh, you definitely need to change things. Tactics have got to change. The defence has got to be worked on. A whole host of things need sorted, Xander, to be honest with you. But I'm sure, look, it's coming at the end of the season. It will get sorted. They just need the players to find that wee bit of energy for somewhere and get back to where we were. I'm sure it will happen very soon. Hopefully the next game.
Yeah, you'll see a difference in the next game, I can guarantee you, against Hearts. Hearts will be the ones that suffer for this fallout, John, because Brendan will drill it into those boys, that doesn't happen again.
Oh, aye, exactly, aye. I mean, he knows what it means to the Celtic fans. He knows what it means to him, Celtic fan himself, Brendan, but aye, no more of that. That's it. Knock it in the head. Let's move on.
Yeah. Thanks for the comment, Brown Warrior. Great comment.
Aye, thanks, Brown Warrior. And speaking of lipstick on pigs, Gillian Stalker was up next. Says, poor wee Timmy cries once again.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a few replies to that, though, isn't there? But wee Timmy cries winning a treble. Yeah, we're all greeting. Can't believe it. Just wait till your takeover falls through and he's got not a penny, and liquidation 2 is only around the corner. Little Timmy.
Thanks for that, Gillian. It's little Timmy's flying, trebles, quadruple trebles, the most successful team in Scotland. We can go on and on and on about it.
50 million from the Champions League. Little Timmy's crying his eyes out.
Aye, anyway. Thanks, Gillian. It's always good to hear from a Rangers fan that knows what they're talking about.
yeah. At least you never left any vile comments, John. So, as I said earlier, Rangers fans can leave their comments, no problem. But if they're vile, they get deleted and you get blocked.
Aye. Anyway, thanks, Gillian.
Yeah.
Next up was this Stringology McHugh. That's a strange username, isn't it? Stringology McHugh.
Yeah.
Just says, report card Brendan Rodgers must do better.
Right. I'm going to break this down. Must do better. I wouldn't go that far, to be honest with you. Must do better in the Glasgow derby, sorry. Must do better there, absolutely. But to go and win a treble and must do better, John, no for me.
Well, I agree with you. When it comes to winning derbies, he must do better. I mean, he's won most of his derbies for Celtic. I think he's only ever lost 3 in his entire time at Celtic, including the last time. but you can't go losing 2 in a row, and especially at Celtic Park against Barry Ferguson of all people. You know what I mean? An absolute amateur that was sacked by Celtic Hearts. Aye, you must do better there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go on losing Glasgow derbies. And what you don't want is for this to become psychological either, because these things do happen, John. You know, it becomes psychological. It's in your head. You can't beat them. So that's got to be fixed right now before we get to Ibrox.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on, Xander. Thanks for that stringology.
Thanks, pal.
Paul McComb says Maeda and Hatate didn't deserve to lose this. Hail, hail.
That's true. That's a great comment, actually. Both of them were outstanding. You said the last half hour for Rio. Half an hour was better than what most put in, John. So Rio was brilliant, and his finish was sublime, and Dyson, just his usual self. Absolutely outstanding player, John. We just hope that he doesn't play that second game for Japan either, and he comes back fighting fit, 2-week break, ready to face Hearts.
Aye, but let's hope he's flicked that switch back to his usual standard, absolute top drawer. He was unlucky with his shot as well. It just fizzed past the post from about 25 yards under, curler, heading to the top corner.
Aye, he was brilliant, John. I thought he played well. He's one of the very few to go past marks, let's be honest. Him, Rio, Big Naroki was okay. That was a 3, really, that got the pass marks. The rest of the boys, I don't know if they thought they could just turn up with a big crowd there and do the bizzle, but you can't think like that in a Glasgow derby, John.
Nah. Definitely not in that game. You can't just think that. You've got to battle for it. Even though Rangers are rotten, and let's be honest, they're pathetic. They're absolute dross. Big long punts, corner kicks and throw-ins. That was their plan. That was their game plan.
Yeah.
And Celtic couldn't deal with it. So, aye.
Yeah, we've got to work on set pieces, John, and long balls when it comes to playing Rangers, because that's all they've got. If we can work out how to defend a long ball and a long throw-in and corner kicks, stuff like that against the Rangers, then we'll be absolutely fine, because every other part, against the Rangers was absolutely fine. Midfield was okay, the pass was okay, the balls into the box were okay, a couple of goals as well. We just couldn't defend against them for some reason.
No, defence was non-existent. Anyway, let's move on to the next comment. But
Yeah.
I totally agree with Paul. I just don't think Maeda and Hatate deserve to lose it.
No.
But there you have it. They did lose it, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but they'll still pick up 3 trophies.
3 trophies, aye. You still crying, Timmy?
That's laughable.
Very laughable. Jixus Crixus was up next. Jixus Crixus said, should have given wee Bazar a name check for his tactical genius, and Cherny, who couldn't score even with inch-perfect pass from Casper, but took his anger out on the Celtic fans. So that pass from Casper Schmeichel was brutal.
That was how he missed that. How did he miss that? It's a pass for the goalkeeper straight to your feet. Put it in the net.
I know.
It's as simple as that. Big Naroki done well there, by the way. He was the one that got back and blocked him. So the big man done well. Would you like to see Naroki get a chance, John, in the team? Or do you think we should just revert straight back to Big Trusty and Carter Vickers?
I'm willing to give him a chance. If it's good for the team, give him a chance. We'll wait and see what happens there. I'm all for giving every player a chance.
Yeah, and Big Scales is back for Hearts as well, John. I forgot to mention that. He'll also be fit for Hearts. That's 5 players we had out against them.
There's a lot of players missing as well. You've got to take that into account, but you still shouldn't be getting beat by a team as poor as that. It's as simple as that. That's the only way I can look at that. We should not be getting beat. This isn't being entitled, by the way. This is a team that Queen's Park beat, St Mirren beat, Motherwell beat, or Ibrox. And they've got a manager that was sacked by Celtic Hearts, and we got beat by that. That's the embarrassing part.
Yeah, and Fenerbahce, John, a very poor Fenerbahce beat them as well.
Ibrox, aye.
Yeah.
So
the big man will be back, Big Scales will also be back. So it gives the manager more options, doesn't it?
Aye, more headaches anyway. Where are we next? We would never sell a club, says bitterly disappointed with the loss yesterday, and a game we should never have lost, and looked like there was only going to be one winner in the last 10 minutes of the game, but we shot ourselves in the foot. With that error from AJ, who had a poor game, in my opinion. If you're being kind, we would never sell a club. He had a brutal game.
Yeah. I think Alistair maybe needs a rest, John. You've got Ralston there, John, who's flying just now for Scotland, apparently. You know, it's all one saying it after, you know, the horse is bolted, John. That's fair enough. We thought Johnston was the man for the task at hand, and he had a poor game. And then we say we should have played Ralston. That's just the way of it, isn't it, John? But Ralston would never have slipped at that moment to let that half-wit that scored the goal, John. I mean, this guy, he's an absolute half-wit of a striker. Honestly, his celebration, you know, with another camera kiss and all the usual nonsense, John, for 3 points. I mean, maybe they're just happy to get the 3 points because Mirren, Motherwell, blah, 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 John, they just struggle to get 3 points in any game in the league.
And rightly so, because they're absolutely garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Alistair, he maybe needs a wee rest there, John, to be honest with you. I think he's played every game. He's had a good season because he's been injury-free all season. He's played mostly every game. But sometimes players just need a wee rest.
Well, this is it. I'm not taking anything away from Alistair Johnson. I think he's a cracking right back, Alistair. Maybe not as good this season as he was last, possibly. But he has had some cracking performances this season as well. The crosses he whips into the box, how he gets forward. He's a great player, Alistair Johnson. He was just been poor the last maybe 2-3 games or something. Same with a lot of players. End of the season, at the end of the season, Xander, we're miles in front. You've got to expect the performances to dip a wee bit, you know.
Yeah, that's it. And teams do go through dips, John. They really do. Maybe this is our turn. Although we are into the semi-final of the Scottish Cup still by beating the Owen Forum Hibs, so and we've got the League Cup in the bag. So yeah, they're allowed a wee dip as long as it doesn't go on for too long.
Aye, that's it. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Thanks, we would never sell a club. Who's next? James Doran. Jamesy boy was up next. James says, we were the architect of our own downfall with sloppy defending, and that mistake from AJ for Sefco's third was unforgivable. I don't know about unforgivable, but in that particular game it's unforgivable. But look, James, the way I look at it, mate, if we're lifting that League Cup above our heads at the end of the season and the Scottish Cup, I'll forgive him.
Yeah, well, as regards to being unforgivable, it was unforgivable for me, John. But as you say, for that game, you know, for that moment, I think that's what James was talking about. I felt as though it was unforgivable just to slip like that, John, with nobody near you. You know, anybody can slip, and Alistair picked that moment for them to get that winner. And people are saying, "Oh, it's a great finish." No, it's an easy finish because there's nobody near you. With just a goalkeeper to beat. Hit it to the left, hit it to the right, take your pick. And he did. He took his pick and he finished it, John. But unforgivable, aye, for me it is unforgivable because we were the team that should have went on to win that game, John. So yeah, I agree with James.
Aye, I do as well, just for that game. But even more unforgivable was the one he just let hit off his shin and it went out for a goal kick when it was easier to stick it in net, and then he missed another sitter. I think they were more unforgivable.
Yeah, off form, John, off form or tired. I put that down to that. You know, he's a serial winner, Alistair, and he's going to continue to be a serial winner as long as he's at Celtic, John.
He's a great player, Alistair Johnson, but unforgivable.
Okay. All right, John, anywhere?
Easily amused says the run in Europe and the league from before Christmas seems an age away now. And he says, they've got our number now. Pity every other team in the league has theirs. That's precisely what I was thinking as well. Every team in the league, not a problem. And taking points off Rangers, not a problem. They're absolutely garbage. But maybe it's just they raise their game when it comes to Celtic, Xander. You know, they know it's their only chance really of giving their fans any joy is getting a derby win. But to your expense that is, but we would really need to put a stop to this. in Toronto. That's 2 in a row they've won, and I want that to stop now. The next game at Ibrox, we've got to go out there and teach them a lesson because they're absolutely garbage.
Yeah, but by the time we play them at Ibrox, Sean, we should be champions. So you'll maybe see a more relaxed Celtic. I don't know if they're maybe tense, nervous. I don't know. I don't know why you would be tense and nervous, 16 points ahead, to be honest with you. But you said about half an hour ago, John, Dundee will take points off them. Dundee will take points off them, especially if Celtic beat Hearts, John. So that's the honesty and the truth of the whole situation. It's unexplainable. It's like Twilight Zone stuff, them coming to Celtic Park and beating us when they can't beat anybody at their own ground. Ibrox, they're going away, struggling away from home as well. 2-0 down to Kilmarnock. All these sort of things, it just doesn't add up to me. So, yeah, Brendan, get it sorted. And as you said as well, John, we want to be going to Ibrox in April and winning that game and winning it comfortably.
Oh, exactly, aye. I think that will happen. I'm sure the Celtic players know that's had a look at all that stuff and they're thinking, let's put them in a place. They've got to do it now. Because it wasn't even as bad as that when it was at Ibrox, when they beat us 3-0. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot's happened in that game. And we've spoken about it at the start of the podcast. We won't go into it again. A lot of stuff's happened. And that surely, if that doesn't anger these Celtic players and make them fight for that jersey, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, especially the manager. I seen it in his eyes, John, how angry he was, especially when he's standing there and they're celebrating in the background. That is going to, the wee things like that will annoy Brendan Rodgers. He's a tactical manager, he's a tactical genius, John. He just, for some reason, for the last 2 games, he just couldn't do it against the Rangers, John. And it's 2 heavy defeats, 3-0 at Ibrox and another 3 goals at Celtic Park. I mean, even the teams in Europe can't do that.
No, well, this is it. But anyway, let's move on with the comments, Sander.
Yeah.
Margaret Allison thinks you're hurt, and lots of smiley faces. You're hurt. That's obviously a Rangers fan there.
Well, we're hurt. It's going to be painful lifting the 3 trophies. That's the only hurt we're going to receive is sore backs lifting all these heavy trophies right into that trophy cabinet, John. Another 3 trophies. Many trophies is that we've won over the last 20 years, John? It's quite a few, isn't it?
No got enough fingers and toes to count, Sander, but she says that you're hurt, and then all the laughy faces. She's loving it. Margaret's loving it, One club responded to that by saying, yeah, his back hurt's lifting another treble, just what you said.
Brendan's hurt. Did you say Brendan was hurt?
No, us.
Oh, us, Celtic supporters, sorry.
Well, she was talking about a guy that left a comment. Jix's Crixus, he left a comment and she answered. Then she's laughing again, lots of smelly faces. She's loving it, by the way. She's absolutely loving this. And then she left a comment saying, Shelf Co, big man. Now this is what I want to talk about. Shelf Co. Talk about Pacific Shelf, something to do with Celtic, when Celtic went in their transition period in the 90s. Let me tell you, Margaret, Celtic were not liquidated like Rangers. That's so I can say to that. Celtic are now a new team, like we call them Sefco because they're a new team. They were liquidated, administrated, the lot of it, new team, and Rangers fans retort by calling us Shelfco. And that was something to do with the Celtic takeover back in the 1990s. I can't remember the whole story now, it was a long time ago, but what a lot of nonsense these Rangers fans talk. Absolute garbage. When Celtic get liquidated, Margaret, come back and say that, aye. But you're just talking absolute nonsense like 99% of Rangers fans.
Aye, well, that's a mentality, John. There's no education there when it comes to football clubs, administration, liquidation, teams, and debt, tax dodges. They think everything's okay, John. They've no intelligence when it comes to the actual facts, John. They just see their team beating Celtic 3-2. They're happy with it and they want to come on and wind the Celtic supporters up. As I said earlier, John, the Rangers fans can come on and leave their comments. As long as they're no vile, that's fine. Have your wee bit of fun, not a problem. But I just don't understand why you don't want to come onto a Celtic channel in the first place, because I would never go into a Rangers channel and leave any comments, no matter what we've done, beating them, lifting trebles, etc. John, I still wouldn't go into their channels and leave comments. I'm not interested.
Just don't want to go into their channels at all. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. And we know what they're all about. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Thanks for your comment.
Thanks
for your comment, Margaret. You made us laugh there. What an absolute crackpot. But anyway.
Moving on, John.
John Edward Scullion. He's using the full name there. John Edward Scullion. What a crack name that is.
Yep.
Was that not a Baker's? Scullion's Baker's?
Can I tell you? Doesn't ring a bell, nah.
I've heard that name before, Scullion. I'm sure it's a Baker's. Anyway, John says, not good, Brendan, and saying we lost that game because Callum was not playing is a stupid comment. He played in the 3-0 game at Ibrox, so I don't get that. And the bench was weak also, and he says it was unbelievable. I quite agree with him there. I mean, Callum was playing at Ibrox when we lost 3-0 there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree with that, right? It's nothing to do with Callum playing or no playing, John. But what I do disagree with is what he said, Brendan saying we lost because Callum wasn't playing. That's not what Brendan said. Listen to the interview, John. Brendan's saying we missed him. He didn't say we lost because he wasn't playing. All he said was we missed him, and we did miss him. My manager's bang on it. We missed Callum, simple as that. But Callum was playing in the 3-0 loss to Ibrox. But you still want your best players on that part, John. That's whether he was in that 3-0 loss or not. You want Callum McGregor in the centre of that park where he can grab the game by the scruff of the neck, as I said earlier, John. But no, he didn't say we lost because Callum wasn't playing. No,
he wouldn't say that. No. It's just something a manager wouldn't say. But I do agree that we missed him. Of course we did. Absolutely we missed him. Yeah. I was going to say to you, by the way, see these Rangers fans that wreck the stadium, they get into the toilets and trash them and wreck the seats and all that. What should happen there is once the Rangers fans are away, they should take the Rangers board, take them out of the away end and show them all the damage that's been done and say, there's your bill, pay for it. We ain't paying for it. You will pay for it. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think they used to do that, John. I think the bill used to go to Ibrox when they damaged the stadium, which is every time they're there. But I think it should be a case now. It's too much, John. We went a couple of years there with none of their fans at Celtic Park and none of us at Ibrox. Just leave it as it is. There'll be no damage at Celtic Park. Toilets will be absolutely fine. No sectarian songs and all that nonsense, all that would stop. So if I was the board, I'd have a wee rethink. Maybe it's our turn to ban them from Celtic Park, John.
Aye, well, I think it's what the Celtic board's going to do. I think they will do that next season. I don't think they'll want them back after the shenanigans with their players and their fans and all that stuff. I don't think they'll want them back. Play this game at Ibrox with Celtic fans and then send them a wee email. Keep your animals out of Celtic Park, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and that's where you've got to laugh at some of the Celtic supporters, John. They leave their comments, and some of them are quite nasty as well, to be honest with you. Grow up, all that nonsense. Not to me, by the way, just to other people commenting. Grow up. It's a great atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. Well, look at the damage. These people that want the Rangers fans into Celtic Park. Look at the damage that's been caused. Look at everything else that happened. Look at your stadium and lying in tatters because of them. Listen to the vile sectarian abuse. Listen to, I don't need to go on any more about it, John. Just look at what happened last Sunday. And you'll maybe understand why 97% of the Celtic fans don't want them anywhere near paradise.
Well, exactly. I mean, there is a minority that like that kind of stuff. They like interacting with that kind of stuff. Personally, I despise it. I just don't want them back in Ibrox. Don't want to hear it at Celtic Park. Don't want them anywhere near Celtic Park. My feelings, it's been like that for years. I just don't want them back. Anyway, we can agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Anyway, finishing it off, a nice wee cheery comment. Maybe like to finish on a cheery note.
Yeah.
Beautiful Life says, Champions of Scotland again, 119 trophies and 121 incoming. Sunday was a charity game.
Aye, it was. It would have been nice to win the game. 19 points, but we didn't. So it's 13 points. So it doesn't really make a big difference with only 8 games to go. You know, another 3 wins, and it's still in the bag, isn't it? So no. All the trophies, John, that your commenter there tallied up, absolutely beautiful. Scotland's most successful club as well. Scotland's richest club. You know, we don't need to rely on fake money coming from strangers. It's all earned. Every penny Celtic have got is earned. Their takeover bid might not even happen. So it's still very happy sunny days for us, John, with an incoming treble just around the corner. Absolutely beautiful.
That's beautiful. Why any business would want to take over that mess? You know, just look at Sunday. There's a prime example why you should wash your hands of that club.
Yeah, the bitter disappointment of taste of their tears is going to be absolutely stunning, John, when they find out that they are not getting a penny. I can't wait.
Well, we'll see what happens. We don't know what's happening there. I don't keep an eye on it. I'm not really interested in it. Me personally, it's something stinks with that. If anybody's looking to take over them, there's something wrong with the people that want to take over, because it's absolute a poison chalice, Sander. It's absolute poison, and anybody interested in buying that should look at Sunday.
Yeah.
And the UEFA games, you know, with their racist flags and all that. Stay well away from it.
Yeah, that's it, John. That's it. Stay clear if you're thinking about putting money in. And I don't think their takeover has anything to do with money going in anyway, John. I think it's all about, it's a profit-making thing. They're looking to make profit. Their big idea is to send the Leeds players to Rangers, to go back to Leeds eventually and be worth more money, and they sell them on. So that's what that's all about. Couldn't care less, John. It's not going to happen anyway, I don't think, to be honest with you. So it's just going to be the banter years are going to return very soon, I can guarantee you. Right, John, that's it. Thanks for reading all them out. That was quite a few. I know there was a lot more, but I had to block them, pause them, all the rest of it, because of the sectarianism involved in it. So I had to delete them because we don't want any sectarian abuse on our channel. Hearts up next for us, John. So a wee chance to bounce back with a 3 points against Hearts, who are playing okay just now. They're up, they're down, they're okay. They're doing a wee bit better than what they were before. They're in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup against Aberdeen. So it's one we need to be wary of, but we'll do a full preview of that on Friday.
All right, Sander. Well, I'll speak to you on Friday then.
Okay, John. Thanks very much for coming on. That was interesting. And hit that like, share and subscribe button, folks, as well, please. That would be appreciated. We'll catch you all on Friday. Hail for now. We'll catch you all later.
See you later, Sander.
See you later.